What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one today. Feeling good today, and I got a good one for you today. It's really bright and luminous out here, man, but it feels really good. But today I want to talk about cultivating a better self for yourself, healing your own self inner critic, having a better relationship with yourself, and just being overall better, like having an overall better coherence and congruency with who you are and feeling good within yourself. And I'm gonna touch a little bit on why that's so hard and why that's been so difficult for us to have. All right. First and foremost, a lot of us, first off, a lot of people don't even realize that they have a relationship with themselves. A lot of people don't realize that. We focus a lot of times on relationships out of ourselves and how we can serve them. And I think there's value to that. However, we don't oftentimes cultivate the relationship that we have with ourselves. And that is intentional. That's intentional. Society low-key and very subtly undermines and dismisses you having a relationship with yourself, you having a good relationship with yourself. And whenever you do have that relationship with yourself, society likes to paint it in a negative light. Society likes to make it a negative connotation. Think about the ideas of selfishness. Think about the ideas around that, you being selfish. Think about how it talks about you being negative because you don't share. You being negative because you stay to yourself. There's a negative connotation of you being alone and walking alone. There's this negative connotation about you spending time alone. You know what I'm saying? However, the universe shows us differently. For those who've been on this journey for a while, you know that spending time alone is where you experience most of your growth. Spending time alone is where you can actually cultivate your mind. It's where you can build your character. You can also build your character amongst people, but spending time alone is where you actually, like, when it's time to change, when it's time to really get in there, when it's time to take care of yourself, it's very important that you have that. If you don't have that ability to be alone and to spend time with yourself, to take care of yourself, to be with yourself, then you know you're going to be dependent on things outside of yourself. And that plays right into the society. They've been building us to be this way. And there's nothing wrong with having interdependence, where you depend on somebody, they depend on you, y'all kind of work together. But they throw out the part where you depend on yourself, where you be a sovereign being. All right. And a lot of us have these negative inner critics because of this. So today I want to talk about how I started to cultivate a better self-image, because I had a very poor self-image. And I had a relationship that I hated myself, really, and I didn't have reason to hate myself, to be honest. I mean, I just was very hard on myself, hypercritical of myself, and whenever I did something, I was always focused on it not being good enough. Now, some of this did come from childhood trauma. Some of this did come from unhealthy relationships with my parents, unhealthy attachments with my parents and loved ones coming up. But a lot of that comes from society, And so my first point is, it is not wrong for you to embrace selfishness and understand selfishness and being alone and saying no. It's important. It's absolutely important. It's one of the first things. And if you feel like a people pleaser, if you feel like you don't like your relationships with other people, then maybe it's time to disconnect with other people for a little bit and really dive into yourself without guilt. All right. ways you can start improving it. If you can identify with this and you can see the value, or you can see the problems with not having a good image, not having a good relationship with yourself, some of the ways that you can start like cultivating a better self is what I do is mirror work. You know, spend a little bit of time throughout your day in the mirror and talk with yourself. Talk with yourself. A lot of times, if our relationship might start off bad, like some people might be in the mirror and feel completely uncomfortable, can't say nothing, nothing comes up, and that's okay. That's a part of the process. If that's you, then try to time it. Try to spend a little more time with yourself, looking in the mirror. Uh, start creating that dialogue. If you like, try to build yourself to the point where you say, "I love you," and you mean it, and you say, I love you back. Like, talk with yourself. Like, have better conversations. Like, if you can't say I love you, you could tell yourself, I want to love you. I don't know how to love you yet, but I want to love you. I was definitely there. You know, uh, it's the thing is, I find that it has to be real. It has to be like wherever you are. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to get to the point where you love yourself a lot, you can't just start by saying I love yourself, because it's not gonna land. But you could say something that resonates with you, because remember, you are listening. You are listening. Though you're talking, you are also listening. All right? Get used to that. If you're uncomfortable with that, talking with yourself, get used to that. Get used to that, because you are an autonomous being. That person, like, you can practice being who you are. You can practice cultivating. Like, doing this mirror work, you will be surprised how much comes out of that. Another thing is journaling. Journal. Journal your thoughts. It helps you to see what you're thinking. That's another thing. Coach yourself. Coach yourself. When you get to feeling negative, or you get to feeling a way that you don't want to feel, tell yourself, hey, we can do this. Hey, it's okay. Hey, you're doing good. Be that voice that you want to hear. Be that voice that you are to other people. Hey, you're doing good. We're doing good. Really build that relationship. Really get to the point where you do feel like you have a relationship with yourself. Like, just start. And it doesn't have to be perfect. But as you start to cultivate that relationship with yourself, you're going to start to have confidence. You're going to start to attract your tribe. You're going to start to not need so much from people outside of you. And ironically, what's going to happen is people going to start to gravitate towards you more, and you're not going to need it. It's like, it's the craziest paradox, but it's real. Yeah, like, spend that time with yourself. Talk better with yourself. Build it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It don't have to be perfect. It don't have to be the best right now, but just start. Start somewhere, and just, like, I'm telling y'all, like, I went from always criticizing myself. I always did like spending time alone, but I had negative, like, inner talk. And as I started to change that, y'all, I started to get to a point where I could look myself in the mirror and say, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of myself. I'm really proud of you. You doing good, man. I was able to lift my own spirits. Seeing that I was tired and I was trying my best, and I go look in the mirror and I'll be like, you're doing so good. And I can lift myself up. It's a relationship with yourself, and it can change your life. And so I hope that this video really touches somewhere deep in you. I hope that you really take heed, because this has the potential to really turn things around. Yeah, and that's the video for today, so I hope you got something from it. I want to know your thoughts. Like, let's share thoughts with each other, how we can cultivate better relationships with ourselves and self-love. Like, if you have any ideas, for the people that watch the video, like, and you comfortable enough to share it, Like, put it in the comment section, because I'm also looking too, I don't know everything. Like, we all in this together, and you might say something that could help give a little more insight into my life. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, today that's the video. Whether you're having a good day or a rough day, whether you are struggling to make ends meet or you're at the pinnacle of your success, the greatest place that you could come from is right where you are. Not perfect, just real. All right? I wish you peace, love, and abundance every single day, but especially on the days that it rains. And with that being said, I am signing out. Peace.